One of the park workers took the dog into his hands and threw it into the lion's cage. The miracle that happened after shocked the whole world. In Wynwood, a city located in the south of Oklahoma, there was an exotic animal park which became the setting for one of the rarest situations in the world. This story started in the wild savannah when a lion gave birth to a cub. Although pregnancy and the successful delivery of a baby are usually things to congratulate, this mother was unhappy with the condition of her child and decided to abandon him. Unfortunately, the cub was born with osteoporosis, meaning that the tiny animal had fragile bones and would be expected to grow up weaker than the average lion. The mother could sense this as soon as her child was born. The reason as to why the lioness chose to leave her cub was because of the tough nature of the wild. Even though humans may have the resources and emotional capacity to care for others, even if it does not directly benefit us, animals are hardwired to seek out the strong and to abandon or hunt the weak. Lions are no exception to this rule. In fact, thanks to their evolution, lions are naturally among the physically strongest wild creatures, widely recognized as apex predators. This mother made a harsh decision, but she must have believed it to be the most merciful option. However, the workers at the exotic animal park did not agree with her and pitied her poor cub. They took in the lonely lion, heartbroken to see that the youngling was not only physically weak, but he was also suffering emotional wounds from being abandoned by his mother. Recent psychological studies have shown how important it is for newborns to feel a sense of attachment with a primary caregiver. If they don't experience this connection early in their development, they will be negatively impacted for the rest of their life. The results of these studies have not only been shown in human relationships, but also in animal ones. The workers at the exotic park were aware of this information. They knew that the lion cub was in desperate need of a parental figure, of someone to act as his protector and constant companion. Although another lion would have been the ideal choice, all the lions that had been taken in by the park were not suitable to act as parents. They were either too young or had enough children to care for. The lion had been given the name Bonedigger soon after being taken in by the park. The tiny cub had been given his own enclosure, ensuring that he would have enough space to roam around when he grew up. While watching the young Bonedigger in his cage, the workers were able to come up with a plan. In the park, there was a dog who wasn't owned by anyone in particular, but acted as an emotional support pet for anyone who needed it. Despite the long-standing conflict between dogs and cats, Milo wasn't the type to be confrontational or judgmental. The tiny dachshund had a heart of gold and was willing to help anyone, regardless of their species. Because of his kind nature, the workers believed the dog to be the perfect candidate as Bonedigger's companion. Although their plan was unconventional by most people's standards, these workers had faith that it would work. The plan was bold to say the least. There were countless potential risks or consequences, and yet they could find no better alternative at the time. Believing this to be the right choice, the workers brought the cute dachshund close to Bonedigger's enclosure. One of the workers patted Milo's fur comfortingly before picking the dog up so that he could carry him in his arms. After opening the enclosure's gate, this man threw a little dog into a lion's cage and quickly shut the door after. What happened next is shocking. He had to throw Milo far enough so that the canine was close to the center of the enclosure. Fortunately, the worker was gentle when handling the dog, and so the little guy landed gently. All the workers stood close to the cage, silent and watchful. They were cautious as to how the lion would react to the dachshund. If their plan failed, not only would they be greatly disappointed, they would also have the animals to worry about. Milo raised his head, observing his new surroundings. Bonedigger had been shy since birth, and so he hid when he heard his cage door open. When the little lion saw the unfamiliar animal standing in the middle of his enclosure, he was overcome with curiosity. Bonedigger took a few hesitant steps toward the dog. The dachshund saw something move from the corner of his eye. A lion cub, one that was close to him in size and weight, was coming out from behind the bushes. Although most animals would have the instinct to run away after spotting a lion, Milo was completely calm. He remained where he was, waiting for the cub to approach him. When Bonedigger was close enough, Milo leaned forwards and started sniffing the lion. At first, the lion appeared taken aback. Other than his mother, he had never been so close to another animal. However, Bonedigger could sense that Milo was the farthest thing from a threat and allowed the dog to smell him. As a sign of peace, Bonedigger sniffed Milo back. Soon after becoming familiar with each other's scents, the cat and the dog began to play with each other. Up and down the enclosure, they ran away and chased each other. They jumped over the terrain and gently pushed each other's sides. In no time, these animals became close friends. The workers were delighted to see that their plan was a success. As time went by, Milo would visit Bonedigger's enclosure so often, it pretty much became his new home. Even though they were getting older, they continued to play just as much as when they first met. They formed a routine together. The dog and the lion would eat raw meat together, brush each other's teeth, and finally sleep side by side. Whenever they were together, Bonedigger was able to forget about his condition. The lion did not feel as if there was anything lacking in his life, and it was all thanks to that little dog. After many years of building trust with Milo, Bonedigger had gained the confidence to socialize with others. Milo's friends, Bullet and Angel, were a pair of dachshunds who also grew close to Bonedigger. It seemed as if the lion had a preference for tiny dogs. Even though there were plenty of opportunities for Bonedigger to befriend other lions or wild cats, his young, playful personality complemented canines better. Bullet and Angel enjoyed playing with Bonedigger and would often visit his enclosure. However, Bonedigger was loyal to the first friend he ever made. No matter who else came into his life, the lion would never be able to replace the special connection he made with Milo. Milo was more than a friend to Bonedigger. Milo was more like his family. The workers invited newscasters to witness the miracle friendship. Over a short span of time, millions of people around the world watched videos or listened to how a dog and a lion were able to form an unbreakable bond. People responded positively to the story, sharing it among their peers and on social media. There was a flood of comments talking about how much they appreciated dogs and how happy they were for the lion. Their story gained popularity in real life just as much as online. Due to the unique nature of this friendship, many people around the world wanted to see these two interact in person. At the exotic park in which the pair are located, there is an attraction that showcases their friendship. Tourists come along to watch the lion and the dog, entertained by the impossible nature of their bond. Most people have never seen a dog and cat get along before, much less a tiny dog and one of the largest cats on the planet. When reflecting on the two animals, one of the workers at the park said, "This friendship between an 11-pound, 5-kilogram wiener dog and a 500-pound, 225-kilogram lion is the only of its kind in the world." Milo and Bonedigger are a perfect example of not judging external appearances. Even though their species don't get along, they look deeper than the surface and petty rivalries. Milo was there for Bonedigger in the lion's most vulnerable moments, and the lion has given the dachshund a lifetime's worth of happy memories. What do you think about this unlikely pair? If you have any thoughts about this story, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you for watching. And if you want to see more content like this, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'll see you again in another video.